It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, and he is Trey Trenholm.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Trefus. It's weird to call you George. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny. My dad, that was my dad's nickname for me, Trefus.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Well, it sounds like you have a new nickname inside the
yeah.
treehouse. Was it Treyfus?
Yep.
Perfect. You are now dubbed Trefus.
All right. So, I have run into my first problem in my new relationship.
Yes. I mean, I'm so sorry. Oh.
We started talking about movies and TV.
Okay.
And I started asking her, have you seen this? Have you seen that? She hadn't seen shit.
Uh-oh. Is this an age gap issue or is she kind of like Tara, my wife, who's not as into movies as I am?
I think it's some of both.
Okay.
I mean, she's not that much. I mean, she's 10 years younger. So there's some, but I mean, when I say she hadn't, no Star Wars, no Indiana Jones.
Speaking of which, can I interrupt you for just a moment?
Uh-huh.
Are you trying to channel Harrison Ford? Because you got this bloody thing on your chin here, and Harrison Ford famously has a scar on his chin. Are you trying to do a little cosplay?
Yeah, that's I was thinking about this, and when I was shaving, and I just thought, you know what? No, I was, you know how you shave and then you go back and you're like, you feel like, oh, I missed a spot.
Oh yeah.
And I did that, and I slipped, and yeah, I got a good inch and a half gash on my chin. So
Oh. It's bleeding a little bit. That's how I noticed. You know what? Don't blot it. Let it go. I just want to see how bloody you can get from the start of the show to the end.
So
okay, sorry. I interrupted you. You're on a roll.
no, that's but speaking of Harrison Ford, I then she said no Indiana Jones. I go, do you know who Jack Ryan is? And she goes, isn't that the guy from The Office?
Oh no. Technically, yes.
I said yes. That you're half right. Never seen anything Star Trek, not one episode.
I can't fault her for that one.
I can't either. It pains me that I can't send her Jean-Luc Picard memes. There's, but okay.
Like if you call her number 2, she doesn't quite get it. She gets it like as a bathroom reference, not as a Star Trek reference.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be completely lost on a Star Trek. Anything, obviously.
I will say I'm very surprised that she's not seen a single Star Wars anything, because we're at the point now with the Star Wars universe. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as they call tentpole movies, plus the Rogue One movie, plus all the shows that are out there. It's almost hard not to see a Star Wars something. I'm surprised she wasn't at least pulled into The Mandalorian by Baby Yoda.
No,
Okay.
But so, and then she had some like, okay, you haven't seen The Godfather. I understand. Hadn't seen Lord of the Rings, any of them. She hadn't even seen The Princess Bride. That one hurt me.
Uh-oh.
Now this kind of stumbles into another thing is, and it's going to be very embarrassing for me because
sorry,
when I ask her about some movies, she's like, oh, those are emotional. I don't do emotional. So, yeah.
that must be so conflicting for you because on one hand, that's got to turn you on a little bit. On the other, it feels like you're a little detached from the. She's going to be a little detached from some of the things you actually enjoy.
Well, and it's going to be really embarrassing when, you know, some movie comes on and I'm crying and she's looking at me like I'm a pussy.
You mean like when Wesley and Buttercup finally make it work? They finally get reunited?
You know, that there's I mean, so there's some, for instance, the end of Field of Dreams. I will cry every time.
Sure.
I ask her about Steel Magnolias. That'll generally make me cry. And I was because she said she did like the Golden Girls. I'm like, well, if you like the Golden Girls, how have you not seen Steel Magnolias?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Okay, so she's not seen any Star Wars, no Indiana Jones. She's not seen Steel Magnolias or Princess Bride, but loves Golden Girls. Okay, so where do the other disconnects come in as far as the movies and TV?
she hadn't really seen anything that I've she I can't fault her for this because I've done this before, but like, she was just finishing up CSI New York, which ended 10 years ago.
So she's not exactly at the forefront of entertainment. Okay. But she's also a listener of our show, so I also now feel conflicted about her.
But she loves hockey.
Okay.
So,
all right.
She's down to watch football, down to watch hockey. Okay, that's like I said, she doesn't do the emotional stuff. That's so I feel like I'm going to be the bitch in the relationship when it comes to this stuff.
I like how you made that future tense.
Yeah, I mean,
because buddy, you already are. Because so far of what you're telling me about her, I'm noticing a bit of a pattern in just the last few minutes. Okay, she's not into emotional stuff. The most recent show she finished was CSI New York. Okay, and she loves to watch football and hockey. Trey, you found yourself a violent woman.
Yeah, that scares me.
And you love it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We have not had any conflict, turmoil, anything. Everything has been all hunky dory. Mm-hmm. I know, as just as the sun rises in the morning, I will eventually piss her off, and she might beat the crap out of me in my sleep. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with this stuff, Dan? You've been married for 15 years now.
13. We'll get back. I'm going to focus on you for a bit. Without realizing it, you have described, fittingly, your relationship is very much Wesley and Buttercup from Princess Bride. The only problem is you're Buttercup. And
yeah.
Yes, I did try to time that just right as you were taking a sip out of your big gulp, hoping you'd spit that all over the screen. I feel like I was this close.
You were just a hair too quick. Had you delayed it just a hair more?
All right. So everything you've described, she's the Wesley, you're the Buttercup. Okay. How do I deal with it in my relationship? I listen to my wife very early on in our relationship because I love movies more than your average person, right? And she told me early on, she's like, look, I hate it, have always hated it when guys that she's like, previous relationships, there was always a movie or movies that they made me watch, and she hated it. And I don't blame her. Like if there's something that you're not really into, you don't want to then be forced into doing it after you've told somebody, I'm not into this. Like if I'm not into gardening, the last thing I want you to do is say, well, I love gardening so much, I'm going to make you dig holes and plant stuff to make you like it. That's not going to work. It's probably going to make you hate it more, right? That's just common sense. Mm-hmm. But there's something with some of us guys, we have this problem that once we hear the girls say, oh, you know what? I don't really I don't care for this thing, or you know what, I haven't seen this movie and I don't want to. Well, you're going to watch it with me. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I sure you're going to love it. Let her be. Yeah.
I
So
well,
I took that what she told me very early on, and I've never forced a movie on her.
the one movie she loves that we have this in common because it's in my top three. Loves The Birdcage, so there's at least a common ground there. But so you also led me to something I have been pondering of if I were to say, okay, these are what I would consider essential movies to watch.
For everyone, or for someone that is going to date you?
More specifically, someone if I was going to date me, these are movies where either you get a little bit of my sense of humor, or I will quote them or something.
Got it. And by association, if you happen to watch all these, it'll make you a better person, just in general.
Oh, and she's never seen The Notebook and has no desire to. So that's
When's the wedding? Do you have a color palette set yet? Do you know where you're honeymooning?
So the only movie she watches every year around Christmas time is Sex in the City. And she goes, "You don't have to watch it." I'm like, "Cool."
Nice.
I've never seen it.
I have. I stopped watching after what she did to Aiden. I know that's lost on you, but just tell her that.
Should it also disturb me that there were parts of when we were watching Ed Gein that she found some parts of Ed Gein sympathetic?
Well, that coupled with the last show she watched was CSI New York, you may have a problem on your hands. I mean, that is some dangerous groundwork she's laying. Speaking of laying things, Gacy buried people under his floors. So if she's really into like floors and things, then you really need to watch out.
Good tip.
But your general fear aside of your new romantic partner, let's get back to what you said. Okay, is there an essential list of films that your significant other needs to see to fully understand you? Now, do you mean this to be like if they haven't seen this film or that, it's a red flag, or if they have, it's a green flag?
I don't know because I'm not you like movies far more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But like for instance, I would consider Star Wars, the original Star Wars, kind of if I were to put a list together of required viewing, that because that story has shaped a lot of our pop culture.
Yeah.
Probably Raiders of the Lost Ark, something like that. I would normally put in The Birdcage. She's already seen that.
Yeah. Now, since you mentioned a bunch of franchise things that she's not seen, is she a Harry? And because of her age, that makes her a millennial. So is she a Harry Potter girl?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure she said she hadn't watched any of those.
Okay. I was just curious because the Harry Potter movies are the millennial Star Wars to us.
Yeah. And I love those. I mean, I think those were fantastic.
Yeah. I didn't say that probably. The analogy is Star Wars is to Gen X as Harry Potter is to millennials, even though it's the same fucking story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, trying to think if there's anything that would be on my essential watch list. For a long time, one of the movies I would sort of use as a litmus test is Bubba Hotep. If this person likes this movie, and this is romantic or platonic relationships, if this person likes Bubba Hotep, then we'll get along just fine. Because that's a weird movie, but it's also kind of amazing.
To you.
You don't like Bubba Hotep?
You know, I've got to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
I think maybe y'all wore me out on it before it, and
that's understandable. and that's my fault. I introduced it to everyone, and Russ beat it like a dead horse. So my bad.
Yeah.
But I will say it's important sometimes. You don't have to, but sometimes it's good to go back and watch a movie that maybe you didn't connect with before. One of the best examples I have from that in my life was when I was in high school. I was the entertainment editor of our high school newspaper. And 1997, 1998, when I graduated, was a big year for movies. One of the movies I reviewed at the time was Swingers. I went to the theater in South Arlington, I-20 and Little Road, to go see Swingers, and I hated it. I hated it so much, I walked out. I'm like, this movie's stupid. The thing was, though, I watched it as a 17-year-old guy. When I watched it again a couple of years later, I loved it. So I just needed a couple of years more experience, and then I could appreciate it for what it was.
That's kind of like a movie like that I found like that was The Big Chill. My mom made me watch it when I was a kid, and it's something as a child you don't understand. Then you go back and watching it as an adult, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, The Big Chill, like describing it to a kid, it's a bunch of adults, if I remember this correctly, it's a bunch of adults talking in a house, and there's no lightsabers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. 6, 7-year-old Danny is not going to be into that movie. That's the one that they put on at like 9 o'clock, and then by 9:30, I'm asleep and I'm good.
No, exactly. I mean, no, okay, bonus for her. She loves Kevin Smith movies, so that's
okay.
So,
see, this is important to keep in mind in a new relationship. It helps to have balance, right? And especially with your entertainment choices. So she hasn't seen any Star Wars stuff, but she's into the Kevin Smith movies. So that's an interesting balance. One, thank goodness for that. Two, she's not going to get a lot of those Kevin Smith jokes because a lot of them are Star Wars based.
That's true. That is a very good point. Maybe seeing Star Wars, she'll find even Kevin Smith. She loves Jay and Silent Bob. She'll probably find them a lot funnier.
Has she seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yes.
Then how has she not seen Star Wars?
That's a good question. I hadn't even really put those two together.
Star Wars is essential watching for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, not just for the name of the movie, but also for the fact that the villain in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is Mark Hamill.
I totally forgot about that. You're right.
Who plays Cockknocker. Which is just a bit of a stretch away from his film debut as young Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. I mean, think about that. It's like, I mean, the first film he ever made, if I remember right, first film Mark Hamill ever made, he's Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Fast forward about 30 years or so into Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and he portrays Cockknocker. And I believe he actually pulled out a lightsaber, and they had the little joke in there saying, we're going to get sued by Lucas. But anyway. So I'm fascinated by that. Ask her how it is she can understand so many of those like how she can watch the films, watch the Kevin Smith movies, and not understand where some of those jokes come from.
All right. I'll put that on a note. But which is also...
Hey, baby, I got something exciting planned for us tonight. Dan gave us homework.
Yeah. So you sent me something the day about that they're making a Gremlins 3.
Yes.
All right. So, which kind of led me down a rabbit hole of sequels that are they're at least in discussions about.
Okay.
And I feel like since Top Gun came out, the Maverick, they've kind of looked at every 80s franchise and going, can we get something out of it?
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
They were doing it before Top Gun Maverick, trying to reboot anything and everything they could. But I think the difference was they saw if you do it really well, as opposed to doing it for the sake of doing it, it can breathe whole new life into the franchise and not just be a quick money grab.
Yeah, but then I was looking at some of the list, and then you're like, all right, but is there ever a desire? Like, do you feel like there's a desire for an Austin Powers 4?
sometimes we don't know what we want until we want it, right? Sometimes we don't know what to eat until we go someplace and see it on the menu. Like I never would have thought about, let's say, a short rib ragu. But I go to a restaurant and I see it and I'm like, that sounds good. I'll have some. Then I love it. Okay. I didn't realize I needed it. So there's a little bit of that aspect. But
Okay.
I'm with you. Sometimes you hear about something, you're like, I don't think we really need that.
I mean, do you feel like? Did you see Mortal Kombat, the newest one?
All right, when you say the newest one, you mean the newest one that came out, or the newest movie that rebooted the previous two?
The newest one that rebooted the previous, yeah, the one with Carl Urban. How about that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it very much. It was a wonderful airplane movie.
I mean, do you feel like there's a need for Mortal Kombat 2?
No.
Okay.
There wasn't a need for that one.
I mean,
but I will say the two things that interested me about that new Mortal Kombat movie was Carl Urban, and I always forget his name, but the Japanese actor who played I think it was Sub-Zero, who is also the star of the Shogun miniseries. I love him as an actor. I think he's phenomenal. Those two people right there had me interested in watching the movie. The action was outstanding, so I enjoyed it. But on the front end, I would have been like, no, like I just said here, we don't need it.
I mean, like we all agree, we need Spaceballs 2.
That is needed. Yes, we need Spaceballs 2.
I mean, do you feel
my life will not be complete until I've seen Spaceballs 2.
Do you feel the need for Sister Act 3?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want or need Sister Act 2 back in the habit, and I hate myself for knowing the full title of that has there been anything in your soul that desires another RoboCop movie? No.
No, that's
because honestly, thinking back to the original, it's so good and uncomfortable with certain stuff. You really didn't need the sequels that came after it, and we certainly didn't need a reboot. I will say though that the rebooted movie with Joel Kinnaman as Murphy as RoboCop was so ridiculous. It was actually comical because they showed what was left of his body after an explosion. It's like his eyes, the esophagus, and like his pancreas or something, and that was it.
Well, but let me preface also some of these movies. Some of them I can understand, but they're talking about bringing, like Sister Act 3, they're talking about with Whoopi Goldberg. You know, Lethal Weapon 5 with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Which, can we just say that Detective Murtaugh was too old for this shit in 1989.
Right.
It's 2025.
Like they're talking, so they're making another Lord of the Rings movie. And it's like the hunt for Gollum. And it basically takes place in between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, see, I'm not big on those. See, I'm real sketchy when it comes to the prequels because sometimes to me they seem like a waste of time. If you already know what the ultimate ending is, then the stuff that they put out before it is just sort of a filler thing because it's not that it doesn't matter. I'm just not going to be as interested because what they do doesn't have the ultimate implications of the previous installment.
Right. Like I understood why they made the Lord of the Rings over the Hobbit because I mean, if you were going to do it sequentially, you would do the Hobbit books and then Lord of the Rings. But the Hobbit is basically centered around one character, and there's not a lot of others. Where the Lord of the Rings, it just the books themselves lead for more epic. You know, I understand they lend themselves to a far more epic tale. But here's my problem. So I don't. But they're bringing back Ian McKellen and Elijah Woods for this movie, which is a prequel to Lord of the Rings. How are you going to do that?
De-aging. It's a lot of CGI. Basically, both actors are just going to be in green suits the entire time.
Yeah. Here's one for you.
Because Ian McKellen's going to keep doing this role until he's Gandalf the Dead.
He was fairly old. I mean, those movies. The first one came out in what 2001.
Mhm.
25 years ago, basically, and he was
The-
kind of old then. I mean, if you
Yeah.
ever seen the videos he and Patrick Stewart make, they're up there. But so here's another one. Okay, with a lot of the original cast returning, Young Guns 3.
I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it.
But I mean, what don't we need? Kind of middle-aged guns,
Yes.
old
With
muskets.
with old ass Bon Jovi. Yes. because the Young Guns franchise, 2 movies, but the Young Guns franchise is popular to me in my heart, because to me Young Guns 2 and Young Guns 1 falls into a very small category of films where the sequel, I think, is better than the original.
I agree with you there.
Young Guns 2 was, to me, better than Young Guns 1, the way that most people say Godfather 2 was better than 1, Empire was better than, A New Hope type of stuff. So Young Guns 2 was so good. I'm excited. I'm actually excited for a Young Guns 3. I'm also excited to see Emilio Estevez working.
Yeah, and Lou Diamond Phillips.
Especially Lou Diamond Phillips, yes. Fellow moving Mav from the University of Texas Arlington.
But they're not
needed.
They're not young.
So it's old guns. That's fine. Lean into it. Lean into old guns. You're not Young Guns anymore. You can't de-age everything, right? So if you bring back the original cast, now they're older. So now it's old guns. It's like what, I would look at it this way. Walk into a Hollywood producer's office and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make young guns and grumpy old men. Put them together and you got grumpier old guns. I'm here for it.
I mean,
or older guns bucket list. I mean, whatever.
I mean, what
Billy the Kid has to cut. Like Billy the Kid has to come to terms with electricity.
I mean, Billy the Kid. But might as well make Shakiest Gun in the West too. That's what it's going to look like when they draw their guns.
That's a mashup I would watch, so I'm here for it. Look at it this way, Trey. It may not be needed, but I'm going to want it if you put it out there.
All right, if they'll stick Don Knotts in there, fine.
Yes, absolutely. Regulators and the Apple Dumpling Gang. The new hit song writes itself.
Yeah. Or maybe Mr. Furley.
Sure. Mr. Furley with a handgun. Absolutely. He's finally gonna get the rent. For all things Treehouse, hit the website, treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow the show on social media at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. Be sure to like and subscribe or here to our Treehouse On Air YouTube channel. And be sure to comment. Drop us a comment if there's some movies that you don't think we needed, some sequels you want versus don't want. Let us know in the comments. We appreciate it. See you next time right here inside the Treehouse.